Hello, and welcome to Happy Hour. I am Sig, sitting in for Grant Morris. He always, I'm screwing up your volume again. I'm sorry, man. This is so classic because this couldn't be any more disheveled if we tried. Right now, we are already off the rails and the show just began. I'm sitting in front of 4 people, one of which I know, Andrew Duhan. All right,
Andrew.
There's 3 other people at the table, and I was only given bios for 2 other people.
Uh-oh.
So this is a crazy game.
We're gonna figure this out.
Who the hell is here?
Yeah.
Which is kind of a New Orleans kind of thing. You know, you're at a various bar late at night. Andrew knows this. You're talking to people, you have no idea who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I know this. We're at Wayfair in New Orleans on Ferret Street. Great place for drinks and food and all kinds of good times. And we're doing Happy Hour on itsneworleans.com. Right? .com?
You got it.
Yeah, right. So thanks for being here. So let's start with this. Let's start with a bio of what I've got, and we'll see if we can figure out who the hell we're talking about, okay?
Love it.
So, you want to look?
What? Come on, I'm not cheating. I just want to know.
Shaun Johnson.
That's me.
All right, Shaun, you look like a Shaun Johnson.
I look like a Shaun, yeah.
So Shaun was born and raised in New Orleans, but left for Savannah, Georgia, to get his degree in sound design from SCAD after moving around a bit. He's back in New Orleans, currently hosting a show called Audio Portraits for WRBH, which is Radio for the Blind, for those who aren't aware of it. In his free time, he's probably in the gym or eating. 2 outstanding hobbies to do. That's it. There's nothing else.
That's pretty much it.
Family, community service, betterment of mankind.
Are they at the gym or like a restaurant?
Do you own a restaurant?
No, I'm saying are the people I'm helping at the gym or the restaurant?
Okay, gotcha.
That's it.
All right, so we'll come back. We'll talk more to Shaun, and we figured out that Shaun is Shaun. We also have Jamie Newman.
Yo, that's me.
See, it could have been a curveball because the dude with guitar could have been a Jamie
Sure,
also, right?
Sure.
But Jamie Newman is Jamie Newman.
Yeah, the
Jamie
lady.
is a New Orleans lady, born and reared.
See what I'm saying?
She grew up in Lakeview, went to St. Dominic, and then Mount Carmel because people in New Orleans only talk about their high school years. That's it. Where'd you go to school? Mount Carmel. Really? Thought you went to Harvard. She spent a good decade or more in New York acting and writing, and also gigging with the High and Mighty Brass Band. She is happy to be back in her hometown and making movies with the most talented filmmakers around. And that leaves us with, well, we'll get back to our mystery guest in a second. Andrew Duhan.
I know.
Who do you think the mystery guest is?
I know who it is. It's Alex McMurray, one of my favorite songwriters in town.
Alex
Yes.
McMurray. That's fantastic. Good to see you, Alex.
Hey.
In all the craziness, I didn't even recognize your face, and I apologize for that.
It's okay. I'm perfectly shoveled, though.
Well, normally I would get like, hey, this is going to be on the show, and I got nothing like that this week. So in all the craziness and trying to put faces and names and all that good stuff together.
My publicist has been doing this lately, actually, dropping the ball.
Your publicist sucks.
Yeah.
Your whole staff sucks.
My team is, it's cruising for a bruising.
Yeah,
Let's put it
man.
lightly.
You need to do all hands on deck meeting back at.
Yeah, man. The heads are going to roll.
And on your current staff, how many people work for you these days?
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
And it's nepotism, pure and simple.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I get a lot of mouths to feed. And
Yeah.
It's important to.
Well, you'll be able to feed them here today. That's for sure.
That's what it's all about.
The money's going to be rolling in. So Andrew Duhan, also a local New Orleans musician who's taking on the world via Facebook and Instagram. I recently saw that you were in Europe and traveling.
UK. Well, UK, yeah. I do the UK thing once a summer.
Yeah.
Go over there and play for about a month, just by my lonesome. Jettison the trio or whoever I might be playing with at the time, and just try to take some trains to some gigs and see if I can't shake some songs loose.
I think that's awesome. I was actually wondering if you take the band because that has to be ridiculously expensive.
Emotionally and financially exhausting.
I hear that.
So it's really a break from the band is what it is.
It started as a writer's retreat that has been more encouraging and is more like a tourcation or even a tour now. I'll just call it a tour.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. Well, good to have you back and welcome to the show.
Man. Yeah, thanks.
So now that we got the introductions out, we know who's who, which is absolutely a huge step in the process of this show today.
Gigantic.
Let's talk about it, right? Let's find out what everybody's doing. And we're going to start with the man who's in one of two places, the gym or the dinner plate.
Right.
I mean, still a staggering thing. Is that on your resume? Like, his
pretty
interest?
much. At the very end, it's just like gym and restaurants, and that's it. And that's all I did today. Was I went to the gym and then I ate and then I came here. So
Sorry to get in the way of your routine.
yeah.
Was it
this is
arms or
really
legs day at the gym?
Back.
Back day.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Wow.
It makes me sound so douchey.
Yeah. Actually, for the record, you don't sound half as douchey as he does for asking the question.
Yeah,
all right?
that's right.
The douchey question
He
is
set
like,
me up
hey,
for
buddy.
it.
I just trying to relate. I figured that was a thing.
Jamie just put down her headphones and left. She's like a couple of douches at Wayfair. So you work. You've got a show on the
WRBH, yeah.
the Radio for the Blind, which
Yes,
is everyone at the table familiar with the Radio for the Blind, WRBH? It's
Yeah, vaguely, but I never listened to it.
88.3 FM, and they basically read books and magazines and newspapers and stuff like that, but they have a few original content shows that we do.
Beautiful.
And mine's called Audio Portraits, and I'm the host of that one.
Yeah, if you go on to WRBH.org, you can see like their schedules like Wall Street Journal every day for a half hour, and they read the Wall Street Journal,
That's
and
right.
it's and they do it for Entertainment Weekly, and they do it for a bunch of other things. I took quick notes like Old Time Radio, Wall Street Journal, Entertainment Weekly, bestsellers.
Right.
They didn't read like 50 Shades of Grey on there, did they?
No, we didn't. I mean, we could have. But
Yeah.
we didn't.
It'd be
Just
awkward.
because-
Really awkward.
Yeah, we read more awkward stuff than that, though.
What
it's a
would-
service. You got to put it out there. If people
Yeah.
want to hear it, we do it.
No, it's a phenomenal service. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really incredible. So your show, what is your show that you do?
My show is an interview show with creative and passionate people around the city, and it's basically like trying to figure out what motivates people to get up in the morning. And it came out of a need because there's many shows on our station already. There's a writer show, there's a music show, there's a chef show, but we needed something for different other artists to come in and have a venue for them to speak and talk about what they do. So basically, I just try to pull out what is motivating you to do something so other people will go out there and feel motivated to do what they love.
So it's not just what motivates you to do what you do, but what motivates you to do it on a bit of a higher level, where you're hopefully motivating other people and playing it forward through that motivation.
Exactly, and we really try to focus on their story, the individual story, and people can find ways to relate to anyone else's story. You know, if you can't find people who are interested in New Orleans, then you can't find them anywhere.
No,
So-
absolutely not.
You know, that's pretty much where we focus. At.
So taking the gym and food
Yeah.
out of the equation.
I mean, okay, I do other stuff, you know, but like, I went to art school,
Right.
So did sound design, make music and stuff like that. So I do a lot of different. I knew I could do an artistic-based show because that's where my mind is, but eating and going to the gym is how I get away from that. That's all. So.
So is it safe to say like what motivates you every day is to get those stories out and to talk to people?
Yeah, I
And
love talking to people. I love just hearing what they have to say. I find a lot of shows, I just want to listen. That's all I want to do. I want to go ahead, you just speak for 30 minutes, and I will just listen, and I just kind of facilitate to keep them speaking.
Yeah.
And then everyone has their own natural, fantastic story on their own. You don't have to force it too much. So, yeah.
is there something that like you could get Jamie over here to tell us something that she's never, can you dig into Jamie
What
with
do you
your
want my secrets?
Yeah, I want
I'm not
like
putting my
you have like
secrets
a
out
Putting
here.
me on the spot.
yeah.
Do it at the
Can
same
you
time.
you have like something like you can zone in with some type of like what's your magic? And
I already know
does it-
Shaun is a great listener because we were talking
We
at the
just
bar
talked before this happened,
we
so
had to
I
hold
already-
ourselves back from saying too much because we're like, we're about to talk for an
Yeah,
hour.
we were already
Let's
getting
not get into it.
everything.
So
there's a lot
that's
to
that's a
tell, though.
rule number one for not letting guests talk to each other before a show
Yeah.
because
Yeah, don't
sounds
spoil
like
it.
this was a great show an hour ago.
Yeah, it's already happened.
But then you kind of feel like you're talking to your friend because you already got the backstory.
Yeah.
I know where he lived before New Orleans. I know where he
does.
lived between Savannah and here. I know it all.
All right. So what did you learn about Shaun while you were?
At the bar,
No,
Wayfair.
what did you learn about him?
Well,
Because
I
all he's
learned
telling us
that,
that he eats and pumps. That's it.
Well, I learned that he loves his hometown, as do I. And being around and moving to San Francisco and New York, as Shaun did, and I was in New York for a while. We were talking about those moments when you're in a city and you're looking around and you're like, well, damn, isn't this beautiful? And then you're like, where's my family and friends, you know? And you just got to be where your heart is. And sometimes that's just right smack in the middle of New Orleans.
I'm a transplant here, and I feel that way. Like I
Yeah.
can't imagine moving someplace else at this point.
Where are you from?
I'm from outside D.C. in Bethesda, Maryland, originally.
All right.
And it's a great part of the country, great place, and have lived in other places along the way. but no place compares to this.
Yeah.
And some of it's this kind of like intangible kind of thing that you feel when you're in the city, or just a moment that happens and you realize you never feel that elsewhere.
Right.
Or when you're elsewhere, you realize how much you miss something about here.
Well, I'm the other way around. I'm trying to figure out that feeling because I have that feeling, but I am here, so I can't differentiate it between that. No place like home. There's no place like Eufaula, Alabama. Yeah, sure there is.
Yeah.
But but maybe for New Orleans, maybe that's true. But I feel like part of the traveling for me is a exercise in figuring out what is necessary for me here and what isn't, and whether maybe I should, plant a flag somewhere else and try that out for a while just to make sure I'm not just the product of the raise, so to speak, thing.
How long you been here?
Besides college and touring around, wandering around, pretty much forever. I haven't rented a house somewhere else besides for college.
Yeah.
So
Were you born here?
born in Houston, but a year later I was here. So
Was
Other
that your
than-
choice or somebody else's?
that was the folks' choice. Yeah. So, the passport says Texas, unfortunately. But,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, people say born and raised. And just say yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to say. Yeah, and you were,
Yes.
and raised.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And raised.
Yes.
My kids, because they were born at East Jefferson Hospital, which, first of all, the fact that my children's birth certificates say Louisiana, as a guy who is arguably a northerner for my childhood and whatever, it's a little bit of a crazy concept to see Louisiana on anything.
Yeah.
Then to double down, it says Metairie, which is
Hey, Metairie.
is definitely a little strange for me, that's for sure. But you do what you got to do,
Yeah.
and
My
we're-
sister's raising kids in New Jersey. I'm like, girl, did we ever think that you'd be raising kids in New Jersey? How the hell did that
Where
happen?
in New Jersey?
In Berkeley Heights.
Okay.
It's by Summit. Even Jersey people don't know where Berkeley
I'm
Heights
from New
is.
Jersey. I never even heard of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's at like 40 minutes through the Holland Tunnel.
That's
Sweet
a lot
town.
of stuff. 40 minutes from the Holland Tunnel.
let's see, that's everything
In a drive.
east of, and rather west of New York
It's
City.
like
Yeah.
basically that's northern New Jersey.
Yeah. I think Northern Central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Well, tell her hello.
Okay, I will. What up, Carly?
Very nice little shout out.
Yeah.
So, you still didn't really answer the question about, or actually, you didn't answer the question.
What was
You
the
you just totally bailed on going and showing us your moves.
Well, I was going to tell him that I thought that, both me and Jamie, we left for a while. So you have to leave to appreciate it. You can't,
I feel that.
He leaves every week.
Well, that's the
Go
thing.
someplace else.
This process of getting out of town more often than even necessary to just go play some shows that may or may not make sense financially. But I feel like that's I don't know how to do it really. Like back in the day, there was the Chitlin circuit, or like maybe you tried to get on record labels or something. But I just think when somebody says, "Hey, you want to come play a show here, and here's the money involved," and my quick equation is gas and do I need so much equipment that I can't sleep in the back of the car? And it's never that rough these days. You got a friend in that place who'll let you crash on the couch, But yeah, the traveling thing is so necessary to like keeping it all moving. It's like one of the pistons involved in like the creative part to me. Just keeping it moving is shaking the stuff loose to make sure you just remember what's there and what you're trying to write about.
And that's the experience. And I do a lot of traveling for work. We produce music festivals, so Voodoo Experience, which happens in October, is one of our festivals, and we have offices in New York and LA, and I do a lot of traveling in between.
Yeah.
And I do find that you always appreciate New Orleans. Like I love it when I see the Mississippi River from the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
When I see it, like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like everything from like New York just kind of flushes out of my system, and I feel like, well, all right, I'm feeling back to my center. Like it's all starting. Like that stress is gone, and I never would have thought that would have happened. But I think you only get that in a town like New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. So.
I'm interested. Alex was just telling me we were speaking at the bar as well before the
there's a
show.
freaking bar again.
So, this is what happens. Alex was mentioning he was playing a festival in Switzerland recently.
Yeah.
But, do you feel like the travel thing these days is part of your writing part, or do you feel like New Orleans is enough to just kind of wander around these parts and get it all from there? You know?
Oh, I don't know. Writing. I'm not really doing any writing because I got this little kid now.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interrupted everything.
How old's your kid?
Who knows?
Not even sure it's
Who
mine.
knows? Could be. I don't know.
2.
I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming right now. He's 17 months.
Well, cool.
He'll be 17 months tomorrow, actually. And he's every month throws this big party, gets all his friends over. I can't wait till he turns 2, so we can just say he's 2.
I was going to ask
Absolutely.
about that. Like, how long does the months thing
It goes.
go on?
I think it goes till they're 2.
I'm currently still operating in months.
Yeah.
Personally.
Oh,
So-
God.
How many months?
Yeah.
Come on, how many months?
I have no idea.
That's rude. That's
Should
a
try
rude
and do the
question.
math in
my
Just
head.
ask that.
I don't mind saying,
not
but I
gonna
don't think I can do the math that
Yeah,
quickly.
I tried to do it the other day. I was like, oh, how many? To make a joke, just
You're right.
to do your age in months, and it's like it's not even a real number. It's like degrees Kelvin or something like that. It's
So
unknowable.
have you written a song for him?
No, I haven't. I kind of. Well, we do a lot of singing around the house, just like stuff to about eating broccoli and stuff.
Yeah.
These songs don't last very long. There's a song that I claim that he has written. That I do. He wrote a song. I'm gonna come to claim it to you too. That he wrote this song about his pacifier, and that's a popular one around the house.
Yeah.
That.
Could you perform that for us?
Sure.
That'd be great. This is the pacifier song,
It's called Num Num Charlie.
also known as Suck It.
Suck it. It's every family. There's a lot of different names for the pacifier, and they call it a binky. Some people call it a passy or a nunu. In my family we call it a nummy. I think it's my cousin Ray came up with that. And this is Max's little tune. He was hearing me try to write one day, and then he looked at me and he pulled the cigar out of his mouth and he said, "Dad, I hear what you're trying to do. Give me that guitar and I'm gonna lay one on you." And so he whipped out this little tune. Here goes. Num num Charlie, that's my name. Num 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 all the day. The only time you see me pout is when you take my nummy out. I would always wear a grin if you left my nummy in. Well, you help a brother, yes you do. You let old Charlie chew. Num num Charlie. Num num Charlie.
Num Charlie.
Num num Charlie.
Num Num Charlie.
Num num. Num num Charlie.
Num Num Charlie.
Num num Charlie.
Num Num Charlie.
Help a brother, yes you do. When you let old Charlie chew. When you let old Charlie chew.
Oh yeah.
Charlie just must
He's talented. He's talented.
So I told him I'm gonna do that song on my gigs,
Yeah.
And he says, "No, man, you're gonna have to pay me a royalty." And I said,
Charlie.
"Fat chance." He said, "Well, I'll sue. I'll litigate." I say, "Well, I wish you luck with that because your lawyers are my lawyers." So
Charlie
shut him
has
up.
a aggressive vocabulary for.
Prodigy.
and his name is Max.
Seven.
So it's it's like you don't even know your name, man.
So we actually wrote a song when my daughter, we were during Katrina evacuation. My youngest, who was 2 at the time, my daughters were 4 and 2. She decided she was going to potty train herself. Just the 2-year-old. She just whatever it was, she was taking control of the situation.
Were you using the washable diapers, or were apparently this is what happens when you have the diapers that you got to put in the laundry
Like the cloth.
because
No.
they're so foul that kids just can't wait to get rid of them.
Oh, really? No.
It's like a big reason why you want to put your kids in
We
these
just
diapers.
put her in a room with newspaper, and
Yeah, why
it worked
not?
really well.
Why not? Why not?
just hit her really lightly with the newspaper on the nose, and
No.
shame is a great motivator.
It was just disposables, and she just decided. And so to enjoy the moment, we came up with a song that's still, I mean, we sing in our family to this day. It was poo-poo in the potty, way to go. And so the whole family would stand around the toilet and sing that song. And then
yeah.
For each
chant.
other, everyone does it for each
We
other.
still do it. That's why I was late. I'm sorry.
So nice.
I actually self-motivate at my apartment. The same thing. Yeah.
Well, I think we're all learning a lot here today, which is really, really special. Alex, do you have another song, like a song that you really want to perform, that maybe besides the potty training song and
sure.
the Num Num song, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that was cool.
But just for the record, your website and where people can get your music and stuff like that.
It's irs.gov.
Get out of here.
Gotcha. Good.
AlexMcMurray.com.
Your records are really expensive on that website.
Yeah, it was. I had the same account as Willie Nelson, so it's
It's all going there eventually.
it's all. It's AlexMcMurray.com. That's how you find me. And so it's what's the name of this? New Orleans something?
It's New Orleans is the name of the show.
Here's a New Orleans. Here's a New Orleans song for
The
you.
website and the show is called Happy Hour.
Happy Hour. Well, here's an unhappy song about
Excellent.
New Orleans. There's a famous song called "Way Down Yonder in New Orleans," and this is like the response to that, I guess, or a response, because most of the world is actually south of here, if you look on the right map. And now that the past is gone, fell upon my shoes and sullied the shine of what once was mine. I'll walk the decks of these cattle boats over the sea so slow on the sad holiday. I've got to say, I wish I was in New Orleans. Diamonds dangling in my jeans, but till I know just what it means, I ain't never going home again. I'm a stowaway with a shipwrecked heart, with my bottle below. I think I'll have me a taste. It won't go to waste. I'ma sit still for the keel hauling, but you'll get no fight out of me, 'cause I'm dragged and drowned. Till at last I'm run the ground. I wish I was in New Orleans. Dimes dangling in my jeans, making the scene with those stately queens, but I ain't never going home again. And maritime lullabies have me again. I'm drunk with a switchblade knife, and I'm gonna see the captain. I wanna make him turn. I wanna see that bayou burn. Way up yonder in New Orleans. Way up yonder in New Orleans. Now everybody, they're shipbuilders, and I'm making one for me. Ain't it plain to see? It's built for one, not three, and I'm gonna sit still for the keel hauling, but you'll get no fight out of me, 'cause I'm dragged, I'm drowned. Till at last I'm run the ground. I wish I was in New Orleans. Diamonds dangling in my jeans. Until I know just what it means, I ain't never going home again.
So pretty.
So good,
pretty.
man.
Thank you.
So good. Your voice is just like this classic New Orleans voice. It's so
It feels good.
Brought to you
chocolatey
by,
Yeah.
and smoky.
I smoked for 20 years.
So good for you.
It's been great.
Awesome.
It was probably the smartest thing I ever did.
I mean, everyone's so uptight about it, but listen to that voice.
I know.
Oh yeah, man. Oh man. It wasn't for the the cheap buzz. It was for
For
seasoning.
art. For
Yeah.
art.
Well, the R.J. Reynolds did a great job with you.
Yeah. God bless them. God bless them. They're not making enough money.
No.
I wish I'd given them some more money.
There's always time. There's always time. So, Jamie, we have spent no time with you thus far.
What's up,
So,
y'all?
Jamie's actually a vocalist, a percussionist, a dancer,
Yeah.
movie maker.
Yeah.
You're a brass band in New York.
Based out of New York.
Yeah. Are you still part of that brass band, even though you're
Yep.
here?
I just did
What's it called? It's the
High and Mighty Brass Band. We did all these yoga and music festivals this summer.
I saw you were
So,
opening for Galactic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, we've done it a few times.
Jamie's hitting me for some
Yeah,
reason.
sorry. I just love Galactic. It makes me think of Lundy Gras, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I used to be, a younger lady, just in the front row on the barricade, being like, God, I wish they would just pay me to dance on stage with them. And now I just get paid to dance on stage with them. How cool is that?
See, that's New Orleans, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's beautiful. And we've been lucky up in New York. We've opened for all the greats. Not you yet. I hope soon. Sounds so beautiful. But Dr. John and John Cleary and all these, bad people that come up to New York. So we're lucky. But my New Orleans stuff is the stuff that I'm really excited about, making movies down here.
Yeah, what are you making?
Oh my God. So we're about to make a short film called These Wild Things. And I actually wrote it. And I'm just lucky enough to have become friends with these New Orleans filmmakers, Construct Films, and this director lady called Samantha Smith. And they make the most dreamy, crazy looking films. So we're about to make this film about these couple wild animal type people that run into each other on a bayou road, and for some reason, which I can't tell you about, you're gonna have to see it. I'm acting in it too, and I'm working with this head injury, so I'm thinking this fella that I meet is like my father.
You have a head injury now, or in the movie you have a head injury?
That's the question.
Okay.
Who knows?
That comes
You
up a
have
lot.
You have to think about it. And so I end up thinking that he's all these people other than what he is, and we just spend a good day together going through the ins and outs of getting to know each other, dealing
Nice.
with some real issues, and it's fun, it's wild, and it's weird. And we're throwing all these parties to raise funds for it.
And will the parties be weird?
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what we wanna know.
Yeah, so we have two events. The first is a theater festival, and it's August 13th through the 16th at Playhouse NOLA, which is this sweet little spot on
It's a great
Burgundy in the
spot.
Bywater.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
sweet.
small and just
Yeah.
it's
Fits like
beautiful.
40 people in the
Barely.
place tops, and it's an open bar event. So we're doing 4 nights of it, and it's 5 short plays, 5 under 10-minute plays.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. We did one back in May. It's called the Red Light One Acts, and our theater company Drowning in Blue puts it on, and it's a really fun night. People get really loose on the sangria, and Abita's generously donating all this beer for us. So everybody come and get drunk and
So how much
watch
is it
some
for
plays.
a show like that for somebody to go to?
$20.
So 20
Open
bucks.
bar.
I think this is
5
the thing
plays.
that is pretty amazing about anybody, and a lot of people, specifically in New Orleans, but any place where I've lived, where people are motivated to create because they love to create.
Yeah.
You are not getting rich on $20 a head at 40 tickets, right?
True.
It's not going to happen. You guys
True.
are going to you're doing it purely for the passion of it.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, is that what that's all about? I mean, and
Yeah, I mean-
where's it go?
I mean, so I spent 13 years in New York acting, and off Broadway, it's like you get paid the most minimal, few $100 a week if you're lucky. Lots of free shows, but it's all these people working with so much heart towards it because it's theater. It's just you can't get away from it. If you're into it, you can't
Yeah,
get
you gotta do
away.
it.
You got to do it, no matter what.
So what was your last real job or current job?
What do you mean, real job?
Like a job where you aren't doing it because you love doing it for the passion of it. Where actually somebody's writing you a paycheck.
Yeah. So I have the great privilege and honor to work with my friend who owns and runs a Chaffalaya restaurant.
Yeah.
and she pays me to just come and hang out and, you know, help her in the office and work the door. I'm there for brunches if y'all want to come say hi.
Sunday brunch there is awesome.
Ridiculous, yeah.
good.
You should come play.
I do play there.
You do?
Yeah.
Have we met?
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so
haven't played in
either.
a couple months, but I play
Okay, cool.
with Carlo.
Okay.
You know Carlo?
I don't know.
He sometimes made her D's over there.
I don't know.
Paolo
Maybe.
Nuccio. You,
Oh,
if you knew,
yeah, yeah,
if you knew
yeah.
him, you'd know him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I'll be there on the 22nd and 23rd.
Okay, great.
So we'll
I'll be there. Yeah, because on the 22nd, that same weekend, oh my God, we're going to have a full day together.
There you
The
go.
22nd is a Saturday. And then that night is our second party fundraiser at the Rathbone Mansions, which is a B&B on Esplanade.
Don't know it.
It's really sweet.
Yeah?
It's a B&B with a beautiful pool in the background, and the woman who runs it was just generous enough to let us use it. So we're doing a pop-up cinema. It's a pool party and pop-up movie theater for the night. Food by Chafalaya. And Giacomo's. It's like, did I get the go-ahead? And also Abita's going to help us out with that. And that's that'll be a fun night too. So come to that if you want after brunch.
Okay.
Okay? Think about it. I'm going to remind you.
Yeah, I think I got another gig.
Oh, gosh. Okay, good.
So, Alex, do you have now like another band that you're part of with a group of guys?
I play with a lot of people.
Why is I think you're involved with?
My most kind of steady gig is a band called the Tin Men.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
the Tin Man, but is there something that you're doing with? What am I thinking that you're part of? I'm obviously wrong.
I do a thing called the Valparaiso Men's Chorus.
No, I know that one. You guys have played Voodoo before.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I play with the Happy Talk Band when they do play,
Yeah.
and
No, but like something. Obviously,
play
I'm
with
wrong.
Debbie Davis and the Mesmerizers. I play with Paul Sanchez a lot, or I used to.
Did you do with Jim McCormick? Is there something you're doing?
Yeah, oh yeah, the Wright brothers. That's another.
Thank you very
yeah.
much. I'm not stoned.
Yeah. We
Anymore.
Yeah, that's a band's kind of on the new side. That's why I forget to.
Yeah, just like I just saw
We
it
have
pop
a-
up with Wednesdays on the Point or
We
something
did
like
that a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is that? What's going on with
That's me and some other
that? Oh, that's great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Cheyenne, Wyoming. And Paul Sanchez, who I mentioned, and Jim McCormick, who you mentioned, and the esteemed Spencer Boren. And it's 4 songwriters who get together, have gotten together, and wrote songs. It was kind of a thrown together project, and we made a record. And so we wrote a bunch of songs together, and we did some of each other's tunes. And we play sometimes, not too often because Spencer's on the road a lot. But
Yeah.
but we're playing, I think, next month somewhere, sometime.
They'll tell you when you're supposed to be there.
Maybe it's Cheyenne,
Wouldn't that be fortunate?
I'm already there.
Yeah.
I think it's in Baton Rouge.
Right.
A place called the Red Dragon something.
Oh yeah, the listening room. Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. It's kind of a under the radar place, but a lot of people who are, into the songwriting scene, or they know about it, and they'll come out with their enthusiasm.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
so that's another project.
So have you had a job of any real sort in recent history?
No,
That's fantastic.
not
That is
since I
fantastic.
think the last job I had was making pizzas at Mona Lisa in Lakeview.
Yeah.
That was, I guess I moved to New York for a little bit, and I was at a bar back there. I was washing dishes, but I don't count that because that's New York, and it's like I was there for like 15 months. And
Yeah.
you do what you got to do.
Sure.
I was making more money than I ever had in my life, but I was washing dishes.
And you were spending more money than you ever did in your life.
Well, back then it was $20 to leave the house.
Yeah.
Now I think it's $50.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it up to $50 now? The
Yeah,
leaving your
at
apartment
least.
tax.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, you can't even go get a pack of gum without coming home with $50 poor.
You're right.
And then if you take an
You're not
Uber.
joking.
Andrew, you have a job ever?
It's been since just after the hurricane, and a buddy of mine decided it would be a good idea to learn how to build a 6-foot cedar fence because everybody's fence
Yeah.
was gone. And so we did really well then, and all our buddies were working at, the bars and the restaurants, and we'd be sitting in the jacuzzi at 11 a.m. because we just tore down a fence. Because that's the best thing. You get $1 a foot to tear down a fence. You know how easy it is to tear down a fence?
Tearing
That's
down
already
is
down. You know, you cut it into 4-foot sections, and you put it on the street for the guy to pick up. And then you go to the jacuzzi and you fucking hang out. You talk about how much more money you made today because you tore down a 500-foot fence. We both made $250 a piece.
Right.
And just hit the jacuzzi for the rest of the day. But no, not since then. Just booking and promoting and stay small, keep it all sort of realm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think the great thing, and Shaun, do you have a job besides what you're doing?
I just quit.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
So hopefully I will be in this
Congratulations.
league.
Yeah, nice. F you bastards.
I'm really jealous because I've worked so many jobs.
Yeah.
Just jobs.
Yeah.
So getting more money and staying in the bathroom so I won't have to actually go back to work. It's just.
So if you got rid of your job, what is it? Is it doing this show that you've created? Because right now the show's on
Shows. Shows.
Right now you have the one show
I have
that
the one show.
is on Sundays, right?
Thursdays and Sundays.
Thursdays and Sundays. I know it's Sunday 1:30 to 2 or something like that.
Sunday at 1:30 and Thursdays at 4.
Cool.
So, yeah.
What's the 88?
88.3.
Okay.
And yeah, I would like to do interviews and I also play music and stuff like that. Everyone here in New Orleans plays
Yeah.
music. It's almost redundant to say. But yeah, I definitely want to stay in. I also do audio engineering work. So if I could not have a real job ever again and just do what I love,
Hallelujah,
that
right?
would be
Yeah.
nice.
How good would that be?
It would. I don't know. How good would it be?
It's
Don't look at me. I'm working at the restaurant.
I don't know.
Hey, twice a week,
Twice,
and it's
yeah.
really
Yeah,
fun.
2
It is
days.
really fun. She promised me I could drink wine all day.
Right.
My
Working.
friend who owns it.
And that's so perfect, right? What else do you want out of a job?
Yeah.
Free wine?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
a pretty good job.
Pretty
That's
good
outstanding. So, real quickly, Jamie, you have a tattoo on your leg that has 2 arrows
Oh, yeah.
going in opposite directions. Do you want to explain what that's all about?
Not
Do I get a picture of
necessarily.
that? It's just staring at me here. You're teasing me with that arrow, and I don't know what's going on with it. So,
It's for confusing. You're going to confuse the people on the streets.
so there's an arrow on Jamie's leg. One goes left, one goes right, and I got no idea what it means. I'm just curious. So, it's just looking at me.
Nope, I'm not going to give
It's
it
saying,
to you.
"How you doing?"
Yeah.
No, nothing. It's on her thigh, upper thigh.
I also got a fleur-de-lis on my arm, so.
It's good.
We'll talk about that one.
But like fleur-de-lis, you
Yeah.
see those all the time, right? You
Yeah.
don't see that 2 directional arrows going in.
It's not a glamorous story.
All right.
Okay, so, I had this mole.
I mean, it's on your body for permanent, so
yeah.
It's gonna go really bad.
it's got something, right?
No, I had
start
a
is
scar on my leg, and I was like, I'm looking at this scar all the time. I might as well, make a piece of art out of it.
So you had a mole that was shaped like a star.
No, a scar. No, I had a mole removed. See, this is not glamorous.
It's just interesting to me.
Actually, I don't know if anyone's ever gotten a mole removed that they were like, oh, it's not bad, but it's not good. They cut out a big chunk.
I've had them all removed.
Yeah,
from
it's
my back.
wild.
It
They
was-
take a bunch
It was
out.
not fun.
I saw on the tweezer, all the skin that
Yeah,
they
it's-
pulled out. I was like, what are you doing?
It's not cool.
The worst
Yeah.
and most embarrassing moment of my life when there's moments in your life where you're like, oh my god, I'm becoming my freaking parents right now.
Yeah.
My wife thought it was a good idea that we go to the skin doctor for a mole over together.
Oh, cute.
So we're both in our gowns and it's just I don't want to be there. I don't like I said we're never doing this again because they're going over her body. I'm sitting on a little chair in the corner and then they're going over my body and
Couples
she's
mole overs.
oh my god.
It's kind of hot, actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
hot.
there is nothing hot about the mole over.
Oh, man, I like that clinical stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Keep talking, buddy.
so there's these websites, clinicalstuff.com.
Oh, I know all about it. I know all about it. I'm there all the time.
Scoot down. It's a great site. I think you'll like it a lot. So
Gownsandgurneys.com.
so
Yum.
good.
I suggest you check it out.
Once you go Gurney. I don't know. So Andrew, are you performing today at all? Would you want to do a song, or are you just here to drink free booze?
I had
and hang
no
out?
plans. I come to hang out and bail, but if you need a tune, I'm happy to try to provide you with one.
All right. Well, Alex, do you mind? I'd like to have you play one more song too. But I just would love to have you play a song.
Sure.
It's not.
Mind if I borrow yours, Alex?
Of course not.
If we're crossing some type of line here.
No. I've got special wipes. I can.
I just think it would be great because I love seeing you perform. Last time I saw you perform was actually down the road at Gasa Gasa.
Oh, yeah.
Opening down. That may have been, sadly, last summer, before Sweet Crude or something like that.
Right,
But,
Yep.
And that was a night that spiraled a little out of control into the other bar and some other place. It happens.
Things that happen, down here, things.
So we are on Ferret Street, an area of New Orleans that has just like over the last 2-3 years has just like completely popped and is just full of great restaurants like Wayfair and bars like Gasa Gasa, venues, music venues, and it's really kind of interesting to see it happen and what's happening in the neighborhood here. Wish I had bought a house here 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But hey,
Same.
We have Andrew Duhan here, so Andrew, let's.
So I'd
Do
like
it
to
too.
play you a song that I forgot that I wrote until a buddy that when I was in the UK a couple of weeks ago said, "Hey, play us that tune." It's just one of those campfire songs that you play to make somebody laugh every now and again.
It's called the Num Num song.
Right. But I'd actually like to dedicate this to the little 3-gig weekend I just got off of in Florida, where none of the jokes about Christianity seem to hit at all. So this one's for them.
This is for them. Nice.
Well, you can't be too careful these days with all the cops out on the interstate. They'll turn on their brights and read you your rights if you're out drunk driving on Saturday. That's why I drunk drive on the Sabbath all day long. Yeah, you can drunk drive on the Sabbath all day long. You can drunk drive on the Sabbath, it's my only safe bad habit. You can drunk drive on the Sabbath all day long. Yeah, I'll go watch football down at the bar, and I'll take a 6-pack into my car and cruise on to the next joint, not worried about a checkpoint. Yeah, I drunk drive on the Sabbath all day long. Tell me, who's it gonna hurt? All the good folks are in church, and the dogs and cats are locked up inside. So come on, y'all, who's with me? Let's shoot 6 shots of whiskey and take it for a nice Sunday drive. Oh, well, we'll drunk drive on the Sabbath all day long. Drunk drive on the Sabbath all day long. Drunk drive on the Sabbath, it's my only safe bad habit. You can drunk drive on the Sabbath all day long. Let's ride.
Andrew Duhan doing a special guest appearance. Very nice, Andrew.
Thanks, y'all.
I recently inherited a golf cart.
Nice.
And so it's great, and I love driving my daughters around it.
Rules are different, that's what you're going to say.
I'm a little scared that's how I'm going to get busted. That's, Snake and Jake's is only like 6 blocks from my house. I've left there at all hours of the morning. And I'm always so tempted now to drive my golf cart there, if only for just because all my friends have already started calling it the Snake and Jake Express. So I feel like at some point I need to do that, take it out on a ride.
Yeah.
But I definitely have passed a lot of cops, and they all chuck me a deuce, and everything's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But that is the way I'm going to get arrested, I think. And but maybe on Sunday morning it won't be so bad.
Remember George Jones
Did George Jones? I know
on his riding mower.
he was the riding mower.
Yeah, he's driving down to the liquor store. He was drunk, and they picked him up on the side of the road.
Damn.
Who was it that got arrested on a golf cart in South Carolina?
I think that was Randy Travis.
Him and somebody else. Bill Murray.
Bill Murray?
Bill Murray had a golf cart drunk driving issue.
Wait, I want to tell you this.
These are
story.
cautionary tales.
Par for the course.
It's what keeps me away from doing it.
So I think this is cool to talk about. I worked for Jazz Fest this year, driving around artists, and I was driving Jerry Lee Lewis, which was so cool, and he's sitting in the front seat, and his sister was there, and she's like, remember when we played those shows with Van Morrison and blah, blah, and he was like, who? And she's like, Van Morrison. He's like, who? And she's like, you know it. He's like, do I know him? She's like, you know him. But he used to get drunk and upset. He stopped coming around, and he's like, oh, okay. And then she starts talking, and he's sitting shotgun with me, and I just hear him go, Vin Jimson. I was like, what? Oh, it's so cute. So cute.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so as we are on the cusp, we're in August now, right?
Yeah.
Before we do anything, we're going to actually wrap up the show in a moment, but I think it would be a fail on all of our parts to not have a quick Saints prediction for 2016.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. She goes straight for
Black
it.
and gold in the Super Bowl.
All right, so I have a feeling, Shaun, you might be a little bit more realistic.
I'm just, yeah, that's
No,
the
you're
word.
with me. You're with me, right?
This is a weird year for Saints fans.
It is. It's kind of like a starting over year in a lot
and
of
nobody
ways,
wants
and
to really admit to that, right? We all want to be Super Bowl, right?
It would be a surprise to me if that happened.
Last year
I'ma
at this
keep the
time,
faith.
Yeah.
everybody in the media, I mean, because I listen to, on my way to work in the morning, I listen to like the Dan Patrick Show. And everybody who's anybody in the world of professional sports is talking about it's going to be a Saints Steelers, Saints Pat Super. This was last year. Not this year, right? Last year. Everybody going into it was talking Saints Pat, Saints Steelers. It was always Saints in the NFC.
Right.
Going into this year, you just don't hear that anymore. And for Saints fans, it's a weird year. Like, we don't really know what we're doing. I mean, we all want the Super Bowl. I mean,
Sure.
Of course, right?
Yeah, of course.
Realistically, it will probably be off to a slow start, and we'll get better as the year goes on this year. But then not quite make it at the end. Like, we'll be right on the cusp of playoffs, like we always are.
Right.
And then we won't make it. And then that's going to be,
That's the end of the story.
That's usually how it, heartbreaking end. So, we're going to come back. No. So, that's what I think will happen. What I hope will happen, I hope we'll win. I hope we'll go all the way. We have a fantastic team.
As long as we beat Atlanta twice, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's all
It
that
doesn't
matters. That's all that happens. Andrew, any thoughts on the on this year's campaign?
Just I'll second at that Atlanta is the worst city in the United States.
Terrible. They're the worst fans ever.
Yeah.
They are obnoxious. I
Yeah.
hate them.
That and why
Jeez.
why do people get into suits and then sit behind desks and talk about this shit all day long and people watch them do this shit? Man, like, CNN, at least some of that stuff might affect people sometimes.
Yeah.
But they just talk about trades and things all day long. Like,
Yes, wow.
what? God, I don't know. There's a
Well,
magazine for these people that they'd be interested in. I don't
The
know.
reality is the NFL is the religion of America.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
Again, Dan Patrick has said if he talked about nothing but the NFL 12 months a year, he'd have great ratings. He doesn't have to talk about hockey. He doesn't have to talk about basketball, Olympics, nothing.
Yeah.
All he talked about was NFL, just as you're saying,
Yeah.
which the NFL Network does.
Yeah. And it's not unique to us. You go to the UK and then you listen to the Cavs, radio, and he's listening to how they're talking about the local football guys on to the next team, and how he's going to fare over there and what they're expecting for the next guy who's coming in. It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
Just these weird predictions and hopes and dreams for a team that's going to put their blood, sweat, and tears into the mediocrity tray and move on.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you as a sports fan is 3?
0.
No, I fucking love to watch. I mean, it's Sunday. It's exciting. It's as exciting as, a street fest or
7,
something. It's
thank
like,
you.
hey, something's coming up. Hey, let's go check that out. Yeah, it feels cultural, especially after Katrina. It's like that
Amazing.
game against the Falcons.
Steve Gleason's game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was at that game, and that was special.
Yeah.
And ever since then, there's like some celebration there. There's something that it means to be a Saints fan, I think, and watch this team. And the fact that they won the Super Bowl the next year,
Yes.
right? That is a story that sticks with me, and I feel an element of that in every Saints game following.
I think what's amazing is when you look back, you bring back post-Katrina. Like, that's 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
That is, when we moved back here, we had opportunities to move elsewhere, like I think a lot of people did. And we actually, one of the things we were saying was like, we want to be here when New Orleans is a great city again, and the Saints win a Super Bowl. And 2 years later, they won the Super Bowl. I was like, wow, that happened pretty fast. So didn't see that coming.
Can I just say it's so interesting how the city is so dependent on that win or loss on Sunday.
Oh, man.
you know what the Monday is going to be just based on if they won or lost.
Even if I wasn't a fan, I would dread Monday, knowing
Absolutely. They
how
lost.
bad
Yeah,
it. Like,
that's
oh
like-
man, work's gonna suck tomorrow.
Exactly.
And it really, I've lived in D.C., I've lived in Baltimore, I lived in Miami, I've lived in L.A., and two things that you don't see in any other city. Everyone doesn't wear their jersey on Friday to work. They don't have At my kids' school, they have Black and Gold Day on Fridays, and they were in uniform schools. Nothing like that anywhere else. And on Monday, it's nowhere like the depression of a loss or the high of a win. I mean, Monday can be a Friday if they've won the night before. It's incredible. Alex, real quickly, Saints.
Falcons go 16-0.
Oh man, seriously.
Totally. No doubt about it. Falcons are going to dominate this year.
All right, good to know. Good to have that input. All right, Jamie Two Tats, what do you got? Double arrow?
You already heard me. We're doing
Oh, yeah, you're
Super
going to Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
We're
That's right.
winning.
I forgot. How could I forget that? All right, so we'll see. I don't think it's a Super Bowl year, but we'll find out. Alex, you want to do one last song for us?
Oh, please do.
Sure. We were talking about restaurants, jobs, and here's a song. I didn't write it. It was written by Terry Roach of the Roaches, another great New Jersey band.
Hey now.
And I think they're from near where your sister's
Berkeley
from,
Heights.
in Berkeley Heights. This is a song for anybody who has quit their restaurant job to pursue fame and fortune and then had to go crawling back. Oh, Mr. Selak, can I have my job back? I've run out of money again. Last time I saw you, I was singing hallelujah. I'm so glad to be leaving this restaurant. Now the only thing I want is to have my old job back again. I'll clean the tables, I'll do the creams, and I'll get down on my knees and scrub behind the steam table. Oh, Mr. Selak, I didn't think I'd be back. Well, I worked here last year, remember? I came when Annie was going on vacation, and I stayed on almost till December. Now the only thing I want is to have my old job back again. I won't be nasty to customers no more. When they send their burger back, I'll tell them that I'm sorry. Waiting tables ain't that bad. Since I've seen you last, I've waited for some things that you would not believe to come true. Give me a broom and I'll sweep my way to heaven. Give me a job, you name it. Let the other 40,307 people who want to get famous. Now the only thing I want is to have my old job back again. I'll clean the tables and I'll do the creams and I'll get down on my knees and scrub behind table.
Outstanding. Alex McMurray, in closing, what do you got coming up? What's next for you?
I'm playing tonight at DBA with Jefferson Parish Starship.
Jefferson Parish Starship. Outstanding.
What am I doing Friday?
Or after Friday. What are you doing after Friday? Next week, what do you got coming up?
AlexMcMurray.com.
Right.
I don't know. I think I got
His
something.
team is on it. Talk to his team.
My team is. Talk to somebody from my team. I think.
They're terrible, by the way. They're not
terrible.
responsive. They don't know where you are.
I'm playing Saturday somewhere. And
Good. I'm stoked for that
Thursday,
show.
I'm somewhere. I might be. If I could, I don't know where my phone is. If somebody, I don't know. I really know. I have no idea.
AlexMcMurray.com.
AlexMcMurray.com.
Very
That's
nice.
where I go
Yeah.
when I need to find out
Yeah.
more
That's
about
my
me.
first stop on the internet.
That's
always.
right.
Andrew Duhan, what is coming up on your now North American leg of your world tour?
I'm back home for a week and a half. I'm gonna see if I can't shake some tunes loose, and then I'll grab the trio again, get the boys back together, get the band back together.
Yes.
And we'll head to the West Coast and back, and then we'll end that tour with a show at Gasa Gasa, opening for a pretty cool new band called Great Peacock, and that is I don't know. Check the website, AndrewDuhan.com. There you go.
AlexMcMurray.com.
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm recording an interview tomorrow with some poets who I can't remember the name right now, but I'm recording tomorrow and it's going to play tomorrow. And I want to get Jamie on there at some point.
Oh, yeah, I'd
Definitely.
love to.
Can I do that? Yeah.
Thank
you.
you.
Too, if you want. Sure. I mean, we have a music show. We should get you on so you can play all your tunes and everything.
Yeah,
It's
sure,
fantastic.
yeah.
And on the audio recording side, are you doing anything besides your show? Are you working? Do you do recording of music and stuff like that, or and are you working in a studio?
I'm
or?
always recording music. I have a little studio in my house, so I mean that's just an ongoing thing. So I don't have like a set date or anything like that. But
Is there a website that people should go to?
they should just go to WRBH.org or our SoundCloud page, which is WRBH, and my show is called Audio Portraits.
Outstanding.
So.
Audio
And
portrait.
Jamie, you've got a couple parties coming up.
Yeah. You can go to drowninginblue.com, or if you want to get more of me, jamienewman.com. That's NEUMANN, and that's all my performance stuff. And yeah, Red Light One Acts, August 13th through 16th, 8 p.m. at Playhouse NOLA. And then August 22nd, come get wet at the pool party, pop-up cinema. All right?
Nice. All right, I've got Voodoo coming up.
Yes.
October 30th through November 1st.
We haven't talked at all about you, Sig.
I
We're
know,
sorry.
man.
So it's not really about me. I'm just here. Grant Morris, whenever he ends up in jail and he has one call, he calls me.
Yeah, that's all.
So it's a shame. It's
good to have friends.
But he'll be out by next week. Don't worry. That's it for Happy Hour from Wayfair on Ferret, and hopefully you will listen to it. It's up online, and you can share it with your friends. Obviously, follow itsneworleans.com and Happy Hour on all the proper social media. And thank you guys. Big applause to everybody. Thanks to Wayfair.
Let's be honest, there are tons of ways to send money back home, and every company promises me the same things: good rates and safe transfers. That's why it can be overwhelming to choose a new way to send money. I switched to Remitly because I can track my money every step of the way, which means I know exactly when my mom will get her money. And with their extensive payment network, my mom can receive her money in a way that is more convenient and safe for her. You should check it out. Go to Remitly.com or download their app to get started. Remitly Inc. is a licensed money transmitter by the state of New York, California, Massachusetts, and other states.